Hello, in this video I'm going to show you how you can define your own Java commands that do things with text instead of just with numbers. So it's nice to use an example that's actually useful. So I think a lot of you were surprised at how difficult it was just to have the user type in a number in Java. There isn't a simple command that does that. You need to use these two lines of code where you can have JOptionPane, which opens the window and displays the message, and then whatever they type in, even if it's a number, gets saved into a string variable as text. And then you have to take that text and convert it into an integer using integer.parseInt. You know, it would be really, really nice if there was just a simple command in Java like this. Int num equals get num, and then you have a message like type a number. So let's go ahead and make this command because Java lets you define your own commands. So the name of this command is getNum. Well, so here, let's go through all the steps. So when I'm defining my own command, first find the closing brace from main and start your declaration underneath the closing brace. So now I'll say public static, and then whatever I write here is the type of output that my command is supposed to give, and then the name of the command. So my command is named getNum. And then inside the parentheses is going to be a variable that holds the input. So before, I had an input that was a number. Now the input inside the parentheses is text. So I want to declare a variable that can hold text. So I'll say string message. And then I'll have an opening brace and a closing brace. Okay, so looking at this example, pause the video and say, what type of output do you think this command is going to give back as an output? Well, I can see by how I'm using it here that whatever this gives as an output, I'm going to save inside this variable that's an int. So int is going to be the data type of my output. Okay, so what do I want this command to actually do? What's the action? The action is, I just copied and pasted from what I cut up here. The action is I want it to have a JOptionPane, which opens a window, asks a question, and then converts whatever they type into a number. And that's the number that I want to give back. So it's like I want to do these same two lines of code, but I don't want to have to type them every single time I want a number. Instead, I want to define this kind of helper command so that way whenever I want a number, I just have to run my helper command, and it will actually run these other lines of code that perform the action. So once I have this fully defined, I could say get a number, and then I could say getNum again, and it would run my command again. Okay, but we're not actually done defining it yet, so let's keep going. So here it's always going to display type a number, but if I decided to change the message, like type another number, I want this input text to be the text that my JOptionPane actually displays. So I don't actually want to have this say type a number. Instead, I want to use this input text. So I'll delete this, and I'll say message here. And the way that you think about this is when we run the getNum command, this text that says type another number, that text gets assigned to this input variable message. And then when we run the first line of code, we say, hey, let's open a window. And the message inside the window is the same text as this variable. So all I did was I replaced this actual text with whatever input I'm trying to give my command. All right, so we open a window, it displays the message, they type whatever they're going to type. Then we try and convert that into an int, and the int is called num. But remember, I still have to tell the command what I'm going to give back as an output. And you do that using the return statement. So I'll say return num. And that's the way of saying this is what my method is going to output. So that's it. And then once you've written this command, you never have to think about it again. We can hide it from our vision. And now it's just like Java had this convenient built-in command where I can say get number, and I can run it as many times as I want to get as many numbers as I want. Let's go ahead and run it, make sure it works. So type a number 13, type another number 12. And here it says you typed 13 because that's num. I didn't actually do anything with this first number. But like, how convenient is that? So what you're going to be doing very soon is actually revising your games, and you're going to try and define some helpful commands that will make your games easier to read and easier to think about, because you can create the commands that you wish that Java had.